Hi, and welcome to my house. My name is Gloria Cabral, and I will be grilling today. Grilling beef. I love beef. You know, people look at cows in their aesthetic way. I look at it as, okay, jump on my plates. Today, we're gonna start with we'll do grilled steaks. We have porterhouse steak and we have petite sirloins. And we're also gonna do grilled hamburgers, and two different ways, plain or with a flavor, because this way, you know, you have a different variety of people, they have different flavors. And also for the kids, because sometimes kids do not like to eat the steak, they love a good hamburger. I'm gonna start by grilling. We're gonna get our a grilled Caesar salad. Doesn't that sound yummy? We washed our romaine lettuce, and we're gonna grill it. You know, very simple and easy, but what I do is I just trim the bottom off a little, but I don't wanna cut the whole bottom off because it'll all fall apart. And this is an awful big serving for one person, so I can cut this in half, so when I carefully grill it, this is plenty enough for one, even two people if you have a smaller appetite. Me, I have a medium-sized appetite. Some days, watch out, if it's a nice piece of steak, look out, I'm gonna enjoy that one. And other days, I choose to have something smaller and lighter. See, look at that. It's nice and neat. So easy on the grill. This is so simple. We just put a little bit of olive oil or a canola oil. And usually I use a canola oil or salad oil because it doesn't burn up and create as much flame as an olive oil. See? Salad is done. We'll throw that on the grill in a little bit. What I do later, after we grill it, we'll brush a little bit of Caesar salad dressing, and your choice. You can make it, or it's so much easier to buy it, and sprinkles, just shave on some fresh parm. So I'm gonna put that aside, out of the way. Now, always, I love a nice baked potato, mashed potato, and I love to eat that with my beef. So again, I wanna keep things simple. I'm just gonna take 2 potatoes, russet potatoes, because they are dry and they make a great baked potato. So while I'm working, we'll just put them in the microwave and cook them for 2 minutes. So while that's cooking, it's already taken away a lot of my time that I don't have to stand at the grill, because it'd be maybe 45 minutes at the grill. I'm ready to, you know, I want to come home, I want to eat, and I want to relax with my family. See, isn't that pretty easy? The recipes are going to be nothing more than what you have in your refrigerator or in your cabinets. Most of my stuff I use Italian dressing, and I'll add herbs to it. I will use a French dressing for certain things. I can brush it later, add a little barbecue sauce, and you make it interesting. It's your menu, it's your refrigerator, your house. Enjoy it. We have some different types of meat here. When I ordered, I went to my local butcher because I don't know all the different cuts of meats and what's best for what. They know much better because that's their profession. So I had said I'd like to have some nice juicy hamburgers, not too fatty, but not too dry. And so he had given me some chuck roast, which has on the fat on it and has a nice flavor to it, and also some sirloin, which is a little less fatty. So I take my 2 meats and I'm gonna mix them together. Each part of the cow and the beef have different flavors and different textures and everything else. What I use, you know, so that creates on a different price. If there's a lot of muscle and it's used a lot more, it makes for a tougher cut, but sometimes with more flavor. And if it's something that has very little muscle, like people have had tenderloin, you know, filet mignon, there's very little usage there, and that creates for a very fine piece of meat, but you cannot overcook it. Okay, I mixed. This is just going to be plain. I'll put this aside. Almost done with my potatoes. Isn't that nice and easy? I use an ice cream scoop, and in an ice cream scoop there's a number. And the number, this is number 16, so that means there's 16 of these to 1 quart. So if I had a quart measuring container, I would have 16 scoops of whatever I'm using. And the reason I like to use a scoop, because it makes it all the same size. And depending on how big or small your scoop is, will create how big. We're making small hamburgers because I have some very cute kids this afternoon coming over for dinner. And it's just the right size. See, look at that, nice and easy. And this way, I don't know in your house, but in my house, if everybody doesn't get the exact same size, they're gonna say that's not fair, I want his or hers, it's bigger than that. So we keep them all the same size. Does that sound familiar? I thought I outgrew that when my children got older, but now we have little ones around and we love to have the kids around. When I buy hamburger, I usually buy maybe 15 pounds at a time because I make my own hamburgers. And because it's just, you know, you have a nice flavor to them. See, these are all simple. And all I will have to do, see, make it round, flat, and there's my hamburgers. And I can do that very simple. If I have bigger hamburgers and I'm making maybe for my husband or my bigger children, I usually poke a hole in the middle and the hamburger will be, say, let's see, twice this size. And the reason I poke a hole in the middle is because they like it well done. So this way, if it's a nice thick hamburger and I cooked it this way, it's cooking from the inside and the outside and it will be well done but still juicy. But they're not here, so let's have fun with these little ones. Oh, they'll be surprised what they get to eat tonight. Hamburgers just my size, they call them. See, now that the fall and the spring has come and gone and now we're into summer, I started the garden, putting my herbs. And this is where I like to teach my niece how to use fresh herbs. When she would come visit, she says, oh, I don't eat this, I don't eat that. Well, if you add fresh herbs and fresh spices to everything, it will be delicious and they won't give you a hard time. Okay, here's our other half with our two meats together. I make my own taco seasoning, and you can use packaged seasoning for this. And what I do is I add a little bit of flavor for our Mexican taste. Sometimes I'll use my trusty Italian dressing in here, or I'll make meatloaf burgers, or just fresh herb, and I call my Italian burgers. And the reason I call them Italian burgers, I use all the spices that I would in Italian cooking. Basil, sage, some ground rosemary, and a little bit of salt and pepper, and oregano especially. And that becomes a very big hit around here. And then I'll serve it, instead of ketchup, we'll use it with spaghetti sauce and put that in a hamburger. Doesn't that sound like a good change? And like I said, I'll buy 10, 15 pounds of hamburger and I make them and I freeze them. And then I put them in bags. And all those bags go, and so when I want a hamburger of whatever flavor I have, it's right there. See? You don't need to put a lot of flavor. All you're doing is adding flavor. You're not making it a taco meat. You're making it a taco hamburger. So I only added maybe into a pound and a half a package if you tend to buy one. And pick your favorite brand. There's many different flavors. And I come up with my own because my family likes things spicy. So we tend to put more cayenne in it, a little hot sauce, and they're very happy. I'm going to check that in a minute. Oops, that one's out there. Look at that. Now, everybody's tending to be health conscious and watching what they're eating, portion control. This is a good way to make portion control hamburgers. So these are about maybe 2.5 ounces to 3 ounces. And so I know if I'm on it, you know, watching my weight or anything like that, I know how much to make. See? Nice and simple. We'll put these on a separate side. We don't tell the kids about it. We let them try it first. Because I find if you tell them, oh, this is this, or that's, you know, something's in there, and they're not used to it, they want no part of it because maybe their friends have said, oh, you don't want to eat broccoli, that's yucky. So you put cheese on it and it's great. I've introduced kids to beans, and beans, they're like, I don't want to eat beans, but we make black bean brownies that are outstanding, and they'll eat them, and I don't tell them till after. They say, oh, that's what beans are? Then you introduce them to baked beans and chili beans, and then there's no problem with that. Look at that, nice and easy. You always got to keep your hands clean because of the contamination, and there's a lot of things that happen with beef. So, you know, like chicken, like fish, you just pay attention. All right, this is sirloin. sirloin strip tips, and this is a lot of people will use for making kebabs. So all it is very simple. If there's a lot of big fatty chunky meat, I mean fat off of here, I'll just take that off. But I just put it into my trusty Italian dressing. Sometimes I'll add this one I add a little bit of balsamic vinegar to it. And a lot of times I make these ahead. Go to the store, I'll buy it. When they're on sale, I'll buy a big package of them. Let me take my potatoes out. And these are slightly soft, and all I have to do is slice it, a little bit of dressing, olive oil right on the grill, and that's so much more efficient for us to do. All right. See? This is a petite sirloin, but there's nothing petite about this steak. I said, oh, I just like a little steak for my friend and myself. And this is what they get. Beautiful looking beef and a slight marbling. And the marbling is the little white lines in here. And that's the fat, the soft fat. You don't want a heavy gristle. And this would be the heavy gristle, but I will leave this on the grill because that tends to help in cooking it. But I won't eat that part of it. Sometimes if it's cooked just right, you never know. See, beautiful. And this is a porterhouse steak. This is the man-sized porterhouse steak. This part is the tenderloin, which I'll tell you it's a very soft piece. And if I'm sharing this with my husband, this is the piece I'll eat. I'll tell him, oh, you don't want this piece. This is the better part, but we know who wants that piece. And we'll cook this. And like I said, you can trim the fat off of there a little bit. He will tend to trim the whole thing off, but it protects the sides from cooking it. If I have a steak like this and I like it well done, which I don't, I usually take my knife and I cut right along the edge of the bone. So this way, like I did with the hamburger and the hole in the middle, the heat will come in here and help cook it without it being overcooked. Because if you overcook a steak, you might as well not eat it at all. I like my steaks medium to medium rare, which is pink, a little red, and you're gonna remember that carryover cooking. When you cook it, you don't want it to, you say, oh, it's perfect now, but in 10 minutes when you actually want to start cutting into it, it's already overcooked. So you make it cook it a little bit less than what you're looking for, so it doesn't overcook for you. Though I'm a purist when it comes to my steaks. Nothing goes on my steaks. When I take it off or before I go on, I can always just grind a little pepper and salt and finish it. I don't dip it in anything because I want a very good steak. There's times you can take, I've done it with cocoa butter, which is from chocolate, and you dip it in the cocoa butter and all shaved, and then you sear it. Or even with coffee grounds, which is really good because I am a coffee fanatic, and I'll just very fine coffee grounds and sear it on the grill, and it gives you a nice flavor. But for grilling outside, we keep it simple, we keep it naked. That means just my meat. All right, I'm gonna put this aside, and I'm gonna let this come to room temperature before I cook it. So I'm gonna clean off the area so I can prepare the pineapple. And the pineapple is gonna be our dessert for a delicious grilled pineapple with passion fruit ice cream and fresh berries. There are many parts of the pineapple, different ways you can display it. You can cut the tips off, and sometimes I cut the top off, and if it's a really pretty top, I'll put this in the center of my plate and I'll decorate around it. What you try to look for is very soft, if they pull out really easy, but that's still pretty firm. Sometimes you can luck out, look at the juice on that. You can luck out and get a nice pineapple, and sometimes it's kind of dry. But with grilling it, it'll be a nice little additive. What I try to do is make sure I get all the little knots off. And this will be in spears. When we were kids, we used to fight for the core part while my mother was cutting up the pineapple. And we just chew on it while we're waiting to have the rest of the pineapple. Now that's my puppy's jobs. They can't wait for it. And it's good for puppies to have pineapples and mangoes for many reasons. Some we won't talk about, but they like it. It gives them something, especially puppies. They like to chew on anything, as long as it's not the wood in the house. I can smell this. This is delicious. Wait till you try it. What I usually do, sometimes I'll cut them in rings and circles, and then I cut the center out to throw it on the grill. But today I'm going to cut it in spears because I like to have a different look on my plate. If everything's round or everything's square or triangle, it looks very boring. And we always eat with our food, with our eyes when we eat our food. Look at that. Right down there. See the nice core? And that's the part. It's hard, but it's completely edible. And I have to figure how many people are coming tonight and everything else. I think we have maybe 4 adults and 3 kids, so we'll plan 8 pieces, which is more than enough. The kids don't eat that much, but they may after they try this, because I don't know if they've ever eaten it before, but they're happy eating everything because they're just such good kids. See the nice core, and like I said, we'll take that out and save that for the puppies. See? And see how nice and moist and fresh this pineapple is. Pineapples are great, and people don't usually, eat them that much fresh because it takes a little time, but it's worth every bite. Just have to remember, when you're using a fresh pineapple, you do not put them into your cakes or any of your desserts if they haven't been cooked first. They carry enzymes, and the enzymes eat up the proteins of what you're making. So if I put it into my carrot cake with fresh pineapple, my carrot cake won't rise. It just kind of sits there and becomes this big old blob. Though it still tastes good, it's not really something you would want to serve. So that's why usually if it calls for pineapple, use a canned pineapple. Or a lot of times I'll just cook it on the stove, or if I have leftover grilled pineapple, because once it's been cooked, it kills the enzymes and we can use it in other things. See? Nice and easy. And I'll just take this out and I'm going to put it on the grill with a little bit of sugar on it, a little cinnamon on it, grill it up, and we'll put it aside for everybody to eat for dessert later. So now we've already got for the grill. The grill is getting hot right now. The Caesar salad is going to be ready because we already cut the romaine. The steaks are just sitting there coming to room temperature because I want them to be nice inside. I don't want them to be too rare, but I want them to cook well, so they'll be up sitting half an hour to an hour out. The hamburgers are all set for the kids. I have the taco burger and the regular burger. The sirloin tips are marinating, and when we get ready, we're going to put all this outside on the grill. Doesn't that sound good yet? All right, see, now we have our grill nice and hot here. Now it's about 600 degrees, so once I open the grill up, it's going to cool quite a bit. So what I'm going to start with is what's the hardest, and the hardest right now is my pineapple, because I've already just about pre-cooked my potato, and my lettuce will be very quick. There we go. Ooh, nice heat. Sometimes we can clean the grill off, which my husband forgot to do, so we'll just let it slide because we love them. Okay, with the pineapple, I just add a little bit of oil on it, and we'll brush that in because I don't want it to stick to the grill. Oop, there goes one piece. And then we'll take the tongs. That's our piece that flew away. You have to find which part of your grill is hot. And my back part is the hottest on my grill here. Everybody's grill is different, just like everybody's car and everything else. I ended up slicing my pineapple slices a little thinner because I did say we're going to have kids here, and it's a lot easier for their mouths when we cut it up for them. It's not a big piece that they have a chance to choke on. So we have to always, think of who's coming to dinner. Oh, the puppies. See? And this is one pineapple, makes quite a few, because also we're going to add strawberries, blueberries, and of course passion fruit ice cream. And passion fruit, if you've never had it, it's delicious. It's citrusy. It has a hint of orange or grapefruit, lemon, all these wonderful citrus flavors. And it's one of my favorite. Oh, we got a couple of big pieces, and that's for the guys who like to eat bigger menu. And like I said, I like to put a little bit of cinnamon sugar on it, and it'll give a nice little sweetness. Sometimes a pinch of salt, because salt will bring out the sweetness in something. And we'll let that sit for a second. My potato. So I've cooked it already. I'm just going to cut it in half. And I'm going to just put a little oil on it so it doesn't stick. See? I could add a little bit of my Italian dressing that I have or whatever else, but I always like to put a little bit of sour cream on it and cheese later. See? Nice and easy. Let that sit. Let's see how our pineapple is doing. Oh, nice. See, just a little bit of color. You don't need much on it. We want them still to be firm. Ooh, that gets hot out here. There we go. We'll make it quick, nice and quick. And this one, like I said, these bigger pieces take a few more minutes to cook. See? What a beautiful day to be grilling out here. You hear the birds. Though you hear cars from a distance, it's still very quiet, very nice. I'll put the bigger ones back there. Bring the smaller ones up front. Nice, nice looking. I think the kids have never had this, and I think they're really going to enjoy this for dessert because they really like trying new things. Sprinkle a little bit more cinnamon and sugar. Wow, that smells wonderful. We use cinnamon a lot of times when we're doing campouts because the kids love it. If you sprinkle a little cinnamon into the campfire, it makes sparkles. So they think it's a magical fire. See, look at that, almost done. Just a little bit of grilling. How's that look? Oh, let that one go a little bit more. And now we'll brush a little oil on our Caesar, on our romaine for our grilled Caesar. See, how simple is that for a wonderful, delicious, healthy salad? We can do this. There's different kinds of lettuce and different kind of greens you can make different salads with. And you have to keep trying variety just because of, like they say, variety is the spice of life. But also it makes things that are not boring and that are just wonderful to eat because, like I said, we all love food. We're all happy. What do we do in the holidays? We all get together and eat. We all get together and smile. When things are bad, you look for something for comfort. And one of the things to me is comforting is a salad because then I don't feel, as some days I need chocolate really bad, the salad makes me feel very healthy, like I'm doing something right after I've eaten, you know, big bar of chocolate or something fun like that. All right, see, that just cooks a little bit, and like I said, it was a 600 when we started. I opened the lid and it brought it down to 200. So now we'll let it just warm up a little bit and get ready to take it off. That didn't take so much time. The salad will be served at room temperature, so we start that ahead. Same thing with our pineapple, we served at room temperature. So that's why we start this. Then the grill is completely cleaned for the beef. And when the beef comes on, then I can serve it, and it will be wonderful that I'm not cross-contaminating, I'm not putting things that shouldn't be together, and I'm making sure everybody has a good time because we eat healthy and we eat wise. And wise means the amount you eat, also the care and prep of what you do. And that's the most important. Yes, it's easy to go to a store, and yes, it's easy to go get something to eat, but you know, when you put your love into it, you put your heart. I could go to work all day, and I do. I work in a kitchen and with food, but I come home and I really enjoy cooking for my family. Dishes, that's a whole other story, but that's all part of the job. Let's see how this looks. Look at that. Doesn't that look nice? Very beautiful coloring. Oh man, I'm about ready to start eating right now. We'll get all this put aside. Oh, that's all right. Pineapple into the salad is a fine thing. Yeah. As it sits for a little bit, we'll have the sugars will melt and become a little caramely flavored, along with that wonderful, wonderful cinnamon. Cinnamon's one of my other favorite spices. There we go. Let's check our potato. We'll let that sit back here. How's that? Oh, not yet. So we'll just put that there. Look at that. It's almost done. You don't cook it, you just roast it a little bit. Beautiful. See? Look at that. I'm going to have, you can make more potatoes, but usually the kids like the finger foods. They'll have the hamburger, and we'll give them the salad with it, because that's an adventure to see cooking lettuce. To them, that's not what you normally do. It's in a big bowl with lots of vegetables, but this is very simple, but full of flavor. Let's see. Very nice. I think one more minute will do it. I'm just going to put the pineapple over to the side, and I'll be right back. Perfect. It's not overcooked. It's a little wilted, but still firm enough that I can cook it with a fork, and I can cut it with a fork and a knife. And that's all I want. Oops. I'll just show you 3 right now. Doesn't that look nice? From there, I will get some dressing. Caesar salad could be heavy in calories, though I always tell everybody I always take the calories out and fill it with love, and that's what they all smile about. But what I'm just going to do is just brush a little bit. You don't need a lot of dressing because you already have oil on it. Look at that. Nice and simple. And grate some fresh Parmesan cheese. Have some nice big slices, just enough to give it a little bit of flavor. You don't need too much cheese because Parmesan cheese is very, like I said, heavy in calories, but we do like some. If you want to grate it smaller, and pick your grate it to whatever you choose. And before I serve it, I also like to add some fresh black pepper, and my salad is done. Now I'll just put that aside. My dessert's done. Look how easy that is. Let's see about my potatoes. Let me take these off, in fact, so they don't overcook. Look at that. Nope, just enough. Just a little bit. And then I'll just drizzle a little dressing when I'm ready. Or I can take the same Caesar dressing so I can continue the flavor of what I have for my salad on my potato. But I think I'll be serving this with some butter and sour cream because that's what the guys like. Let's go put this on the table, and then I'll get ready for the steaks. Okay, so now I brought my temperature back up after taking all the vegetables on and off and the fruit, that I had to bring my temperature back up so I could put my beef on. Oh, let's see. So we always have a little bit of extra here. That's no problem. We'll just put that aside. I'm going to make the kids hamburgers. I'm only going to make a few hamburgers because the rest I will save for another day when they come over and visit. When they say, I loved your taco burger, I loved your hamburger. We know the secret is? The secret was the flavor inside. I could take salt and pepper and add it to my hamburger if I would like. You know, whatever it is, it's my hamburger. See, we'll do 5 plain and 5 of the mix. See the difference in color? And these will be the plain. And I'm sure that's enough for the 3 kids. 10 hamburgers. They're mini. It all depends. You know, boys are boys. They love to eat. Those I want to cook And I want to get a nice sear on it, but I'm not going to keep flipping my hamburgers over. I flip them once and let them sit. We'll put the sirloin tips out in case somebody prefers that, and I'm going to leave them whole. See, I'm going to look at that, nice and flavorful. I could cut them up and put them on skewers, but I'm trying to think of fast. And see, now what I would normally have done is I marinate these a day or two ago. This way I don't have to keep worrying about it. I can just come home and take care of it. So I'm only going to put one of each steak on. Look at that beautiful steak. So we can see the different types of it. This is enough for, oh, plenty of people. This is at least 2 people because these are 1-inch thick steaks. Even that's plenty enough for 2 people. So now I'm going to close the lid and let it sear. I don't want to move it for at least 5 minutes so it gets a nice crust or a nice browning on it. Sometimes I'll let my stuff dry up a little bit just so it's not all wet because I want that crispy flavor. You notice I didn't add any salt and pepper yet, but I will just before it turns. And then again when it comes off, because then I want to add it in layers or close to it, but I just love the taste of a good piece of meat. That's why it's important to find a good butcher or a good store that you can have the meat tastes good. The meat that means the beef has been well handled, or any type of meat product that you have, or produce, everything is well handled. So it's more important to eat something good than something a lot. That's why they say quality is better than quantity. Let me go put the rest of my products away and I will be back. Okay. So I gave it a turn, I gave it another turn. Now I'm going to flip it over once to get some grill marks. See nice little grill marks? Again, give it a little grill mark. And then I just move my sirloin tips around, bring them towards the back. What I'm looking for a lot of times is how the doneness, and a lot of times people use their finger. And the pad of their finger, we'll see how soft it is. This is much softer, so my index and my thumb, I'll feel it. That's rare. See, medium rare, medium well, and well done. It's a lot tougher. So that's what you're looking for. Try that at home. It's an interesting thing, but it works. See, I just roll my steaks over, move them to a different spot that's not hot. I haven't touched my hamburgers because I'm looking. The back one looks pretty good, and I'm just going to do it once, but I'm going to bring them to a different spot. I want to make sure they're well done. Look at that, perfect size for a little kid. A little mouth with a lot of talking. They just love it. I just going to now make sure, oops, which one of these? These would be my flavored. This is not my flavored. Because then if I give the wrong child the wrong one, I'm in trouble. 3, 4. That's why I do everything and I count with it. Because a lot of times I forget. 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to squeeze it because I want those juices to sit in there. Now this part of the grill is going to get hot. That's cooking over there. Again, I want that medium to medium rare. See? It's a little tougher. That's very nice. And we'll let that sit another 4 or 5 minutes and we will be all done with these, getting ready for a wonderful dinner. Now all the meat is cooked to someone's desired doneness. I have some that is well done, some that's medium, rare, and the hamburgers are cooked just right for the kids. I'll get all the parts together to make the kids sandwiches, so when they come over, they will be so happy to enjoy their dinner. And then after dinner, they can have their nice roasted caramelized pineapples, along with, like it says, passion fruit ice cream and fresh strawberries and blueberries. Sounds like a wonderful summer dinner. Very simple to make. It was easy, right? Steaks right from the refrigerator, let them warm up a little bit, just salt and pepper on them. Hamburgers, and we have extra now, so tomorrow when I want some more hamburgers on the grill, I can make them. We have some with taco meat or taco seasoning to make a taco hamburger, and plain. We have the wonderful grilled Caesar salad, which has the fresh Parmesan cheese on it and Caesar dressing, and the potatoes, which you can make up any which way. Some people just want butter. We're going to put butter and sour cream on that, and I will be back to serve you. Happy grilling. Today we did a beautiful porterhouse steak, petite sirloin, wonderful sirloin tips, great hamburgers for the kids, grilled potatoes, the grilled Caesar salad, and our pineapples, our wonderful pineapples. And here we have a beautiful passion fruit ice cream, some fresh berries on that, and for added touch of sweetness, a drizzle of local honey. Good friends, good family. Enjoy each day, and we do this for the love of food.